Hi and welcome back to today's video. You want to hang out? Anyway, today I'm going to share the story about what happened after my son was sentenced and he was sent back to the jail. You go back to the jail and wait, and then you are picked up later to be transferred to the prison. So this jail in particular is not one that anybody really wants to go to. It's pretty violent, and I don't know if everybody's aware that there are a lot of gangs, and you have to like only work out with your race. They really have their own set of politics in there, and not the way he was raised, but yeah, quite a change. Also, I'd like to mention that when somebody's an addict, they're breaking the law and harming themselves, but they're not normally violent, and so you can be thrown in a setting and put in with people in the jail that could be pretty scary. So he never told me the whole story until he had been moved to the prison, but he was in a large dorm. There was a big tier above, and he talked about one day he was just really bored, and he went and sat at a table where they were playing cards. Well, there were a couple of gangs at that table as well, and they were just starting a new game when one guy from another gang was arguing with another one about something they'd done and that they had cheated, and it becomes heated. Now, my son had often spoke about how violent it was in there and how the officers didn't really even come in there often, and whenever they would even walk by, that the guys in there would throw like a coffee mug as hard as they could at the door and yell obscenities to the cops, and my son was just kind of shocked. So here he is, knowing nobody's going to come to rescue him. He's sitting at the table listening to all this happen, and all of a sudden this very loud, chaotic place goes quiet, and he looks up and everybody from the top tier is lined up looking down there. All of a sudden he hears plastic glasses being shattered, which they make into like shards so that they can stab you with them, and he is feeling terrified. All of a sudden, one of the guys from the one gang, it was probably the same race, looked at him and said, "Are you with us?" And he quickly knew, well, he realized he didn't really have any options, and he's like, okay. So the next thing he knew, they were all standing up. The place is quiet. And he told me his heart was beating out of his chest. He said, "You know, Mom, I don't consider myself a chicken, but I was terrified." Well, when he was telling me this, which was much later when he was at the prison, I said, "I am sure even some of those toughest guys were afraid." And he said, "Yeah, honestly, I was looking around and I felt like I could see their hearts beating, and you could see the color draining from their faces." Fortunately, it was stopped, and he kind of learned to just keep to himself, and he was just really, really wanting to get out of there. I guess the positive about being in such a horrible place is he was just wanting to go to prison. So they would come out, the people would come out that were going to transport, and they seemed to always pass him by. And weeks are going by and he's feeling so defeated. One day they come out and he's thinking, surely this will be the day, and they pass him by. And all of a sudden one of them came back and said, yelled out his name and said, "Roll him up," which means that you're out of there. So I do have his permission to share this. He ran off into a private spot and he was jumping up and down, thanking Jesus, and which is funny. That's not really something I hear him say too often. And you have to know it was a pretty bad place if he's thanking Jesus that he's going to go to prison. So that is about all I have to share. I know this is a short video, but The rest of them are going to be more lighthearted, and I hope you join us.